I'm your number one fan.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
What an excellent day for an exorcism.
My mom and dad are gonna be
I see dead people.
Hello.
Hi. Happy
Tuesday.
Oh.
One of these days we'll get that right.
Yeah, I don't think so. But that's kind of the charm of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, happy Tuesday regardless. Welcome
Yeah.
back to Killer Cuties Podcast.
That's us.
We've got news,
We do have news.
and then we're going to talk about the fall of the House of Usher.
We are.
By
That's
Mike
the
Flanagan.
plan. The Flanaverse, if you will.
The Flanaverse.
Part of it.
The plan again.
The the Flanagan of the Flanagan.
Yes.
Great. Do you want to kick us off?
I will.
Okay.
I've got a bunch of alien news I put in one little segment.
Love.
Lots of alien news. So first of all, I learned that Romulus was supposed to be a Hulu original movie. That's crazy.
Mhm.
If you, for some reason, were looking forward to that happening, you're in luck. We got a first look at Alien Earth with a 5-second teaser trailer. Alien
That's
Earth.
not enough.
Yeah, it's really not. I mean, we did get the xenomorph, though, so we got what
Well.
we wanted, but only 5 seconds of it. Earth is an upcoming FX on Hulu original series set for 2025 about an alien that lands on Earth.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And then is discovered by a group of soldiers who have to decide what to do with it. The cast and the director aren't super well known. I think the director has done like a couple episodes of some Marvel show. Not a whole lot, but it is executive produced by Ridley Scott, so we'll get some fresh faces and some fresh takes guided by the hand of Ridley Scott.
Nice.
Yeah. Also in Alien Land, we got 2 new trailers highlighting the weapons and the baddies of Alien Rogue Incursion, which is the VR horror game by developers Survios, coming out December 19th of this year.
Wow.
It looks very much like a VR game. It looks,
Okay.
like it's got, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
I know exactly what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah. Could be fun, I guess. Could be scary. But pre-order is now open for PlayStation, Quest, and Steam. And then one more quick little thing about Alien Romulus, since I'm talking about it. Congrats to Romulus for now being the highest grossing horror movie of the year so far.
It is.
Yeah. I thought I'd throw in that tidbit for free.
Yeah. I'm not super surprised by that. It's a huge franchise. A lot of people looking forward to it.
Yeah.
That franchise is getting fed this year. Jesus.
Seriously. I was like, oh, I can talk about Alien. I guess I can talk about that Alien too. And then I guess I'll have to talk about that Alien. We'll talk about all of them.
Wow. Incredible.
I think Beetlejuice will beat it out, but we'll see.
I would not doubt that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Beetlejuice is going to do well. People have been waiting a long time for that.
35 years.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Speaking of video games, Exit Plan Games has announced that they'll be releasing a new game on Friday, September 13th.
Oh, yay. Next week.
Friday the 13th
This week.
game. Yeah, if you're listening to this the day we dropped it, it's this Friday. Yeah, it's called Panic in the Woods, and it's a horror co-op where you and your friends are Boy Scouts lost in the forest. Yeah, you're going to be equipped with walkie-talkies, and you have to rely on each other to survive as you're all hunted by a terrifying monster that you have to banish to win for good.
Oh, that sounds kind of fun.
Yeah, apparently, like, walk around the map and find different things that help you towards banishing it. So it sounds fun.
Like DVD and that other game where you have to be really quiet.
Oh, yeah. I don't
You have to, like, fix the car, find the battery, find the tires.
Yeah.
Well, that could be fun.
Yeah, it sounds fun.
Okay, let's play it next week.
Okay.
Done.
You'll be at my house when it releases.
That's
so.
what I'm saying.
Okay.
We can play it.
You can sit on my lap.
Oh. Okay. The Night Bitch trailer just dropped
Mm-hmm.
like 8 hours ago, and it's so good, better than I could have asked. I'm a fan of the books, so I was looking forward to it and kind of knew what to expect. And I can imagine that some folks are going to see that and be like, "What the fuck is happening?"
Mm.
But it looks amazing, and it feels like it's stuck really close to the source material. So fans of the book will have that to look forward to.
Yeah.
We'll link the trailer in the description below. But it looks really funny and cute.
Yeah, I'm glad that they're emphasizing that this is a comedy as well in the trailer, because so often horror comedies don't do that and then people are confused. So
Mm-hmm.
you gotta market it as a comedy.
Yeah. The book is really funny.
Yeah.
I think
haven't
it's
read it.
not for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's for moms.
Oh.
But
Fine, I won't read it.
well, I mean, you're welcome to. I just think it's funnier
If you're a parent.
if you're a parent.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, I think we have it on the books to see that when it comes out, so
Yep.
I'm excited.
Me too.
3 years ago, it was announced that Wolf Creek was getting a third movie, but due to unforeseen circumstances, it just hasn't happened yet. We haven't really heard anything more about it. However, Deadline just reported that Wolf Creek 3 is starting filming in early 2025, so they are beginning that. It's currently under the title Wolf Creek Legacy, and we already have like a little summary of what it's going to be about, too. It's going to be about a family of American tourists who wander innocently into Mick Taylor's hunting grounds. When the parents sacrifice them to save their children, the kids find themselves alone, lost, and hunted in the vast Australian wilderness.
Oh.
So fans of Wolf Creek rejoice. They are starting to film in early 2025.
Good.
You haven't seen that yet, but we will.
No.
We'll watch it.
I like the Australian wilderness.
Yeah. The Outback.
Are they all in the Australian wilderness?
Mm-hmm.
Sounds fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Last one from me, we have Mem, which is a novel by Bethany C. Morrow about humanity's newfound ability to bring memories to life.
Ooh.
It's getting a movie starring Nesta Cooper. The concept sounds great. I want to read the book, especially because it's only like 200 pages.
Ooh,
Short little thing. The memories that we can bring to life now star these like zombie human hybrids that have to basically relive the same memory over and over again until they run out of battery, essentially.
Oh.
And then they go to a zombie dump. Yeah. I'm getting all this from Amazon. But one zombie is able to make her own memories. That's supposedly who Nesta Cooper is going to play. And then plot things happen. So that starts filming next year.
All right. Well, I guess there are original ideas still.
Yeah.
That sounds crazy.
It doesn't
in a good
sound
way.
like horror.
I mean, zombies.
Well, they're zombified. Like they're like zombie, not in like the literal, like not in like the monster sense of the world. Like zombie,
Got it.
Like you know,
yeah.
vacant.
Mm-hmm. I feel like a sci-fi thriller, horror, maybe.
Yeah, we'll see.
Nice.
We'll see. I'll tell you.
Okay. All right. Very relevant news to finish off here.
Oh.
First look photos have been released for the upcoming feature film project called The Life of Chuck. It's an adaptation of a Stephen King novella. It's going to star Tom Hiddleston, Chiwetel Ejiofor, Karen Gillan, and Mark Hamill.
Oh, Mark Hamill.
And wouldn't you know it, it's going to be directed by the one and only Mike Flanagan.
Oh, how fun. Wow. Imagine him reusing people.
I know. He's also adapted the screenplay and not listed as like stars of the film, but still included in the cast. Are you ready?
Of course.
Kate Siegel, of course.
Isn't that his wife?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Samantha Sloyan, Rahu Kolhi,
Mm-hmm.
and Carl Lumbly. All of which starred in The Fall of the House of Usher. So we're talking about that today. So yes, Mike Flanagan loves to reuse people, and they're, you know what? They're good actors, so I'm not going to complain about it.
Yeah.
But also listed in the cast,
Carly
who's
Gugino.
not in this,
Oh.
Matthew Lillard.
Oh, how fun! Yay!
Not relevant to this episode, but I love him, so.
Yeah, we both love him.
We do. We collectively love Matthew Lillard.
He's the only person we follow on Instagram.
That's true. We're not very active on Instagram, though.
No.
Follow us on Instagram, and then we'll post more.
Yeah, well, probably not. Follow us on TikTok instead. That's where the heat
better.
is.
That's where we're really getting spicy.
All right, well, let's get into it.
All right.
The Fall of the House of Usher is Mike Flanagan's Edgar Allan Poe-inspired miniseries that follows the Usher family, led by siblings Roderick and Madeline, who have built a pharmaceutical empire, and with it, outrageous wealth and privilege. One by one, the heirs to the Usher dynasty start dying, which brings to light secrets of Roderick and Madeline's past. The cast is the same as every Mike Flanagan project, which is to say amazing but repetitive. At its release, the show was the second most watched show on Netflix. It has a 7.9 out of 10 on IMDb, a 90% critic score, and an 81% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. I used my newscaster voice.
Yeah, I liked it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
People like it.
People do like this. People enjoyed it. I remember when it came out, there was a lot of hype around it. So
yeah,
I'd already canceled my Netflix subscription at that time because I was angry at them. But I get it. I get what there was hype.
It's your right. It's your right to be angry at Netflix.
Thank you.
A right and privilege.
Yeah. It's a basic human right to hate Netflix.
Yeah. Yeah, 90% audience score, and that's not even the highest rated Flanagan show. Hill House is higher. It's 93.
90% critics.
Mm-hmm.
You said audience.
Critics. 90% critics, 81% audience.
It's just now you said audience.
What do you mean?
You said 90% audience score, and that's not even the highest of the Flanaverse.
Oh, sorry. 90% critic score. That's not even the highest of the Flanaverse.
Just trying to gaslit me.
Sorry. I don't remember saying that at all.
Yeah, it was quick.
Hill House has 93, I think. Or maybe even higher. I'm pretty sure it's 93.
I think Hill House is the highest rated of his shows, which makes sense. Show's a fucking masterpiece.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked this. This was a cool... I enjoyed the modernizations and like the different adaptations of the stories, right? Yeah. I think I can't decide if this show is more fun if you're familiar with the stories or more fun if you don't know what's going to happen. If that makes sense.
Were you familiar with the stories?
I was.
Oh, I wasn't.
Oh, okay. Did you find it fun?
Yeah.
Well, let's figure out right now. Yeah, I think I was familiar with almost every story except for the Gold Bug. I'd never read that one before. But from what I did from the skimming, they didn't really use much of that.
Yeah, it was just a name, I think. One of the episodes was
named. It was named after that. And then she had the pin that was the Gold Bug, and that's the app name. And
the logo of her company, yeah.
Right, yeah. So that's kind of how they incorporated it, but not necessarily her death.
Right.
Which the others were very much deaths from Poe's stories, just adapted in a new way.
Right. I mean, I could see all the deaths coming for the most part.
Yeah.
So I don't know that having read the stories, it would have made it any more fun necessarily. Well, no, I think it would have been more fun. I wish I had done the work to read everything first. And then be noticing everything. Like, oh, that name. I know that name and all of that. That I think that would have been more fun.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely was like... Even the episode, because I could see the episode titles,
yes,
which kind of was like a little bit of a spoiler, because but it was fine because I already knew it's gonna be based on it anyway, right? So so yeah, the titles definitely tell you kind of which death you're gonna see adapted, which I also kind of just thought was fun because I'm like, oh, how are they gonna make this work? And I thought that they did it in really smart ways and really creative ways, so. I wasn't mad about it.
Nice. Yeah. And for everybody who doesn't know, every episode is named after an Edgar Allan Poe story.
Yes. Yeah. And the episodes themselves aren't necessarily based on the stories that they're named after, but the deaths kind of are.
Yeah.
So, The Pit and the Pendulum, obviously, if you've read it, you know what happens, and he gets sliced in two.
By a pendulum
by a pendulum.
in
Yeah,
a pit.
kind of. Yeah,
Oh, that's kind of what happens in this show.
yeah, exactly. It's yeah. Uh, I think I kind of, this is gonna sound crass, but I wish in that death that the house hadn't collapsed as soon as it did.
We just wanted to watch him die a little slower.
I just think he deserved it. Yeah,
Of all of them, he was pretty
He's-
deserving.
he was the worst.
Yeah. I mean, he wasn't at the beginning. At the beginning, I
No.
didn't mind him so bad.
At the beginning, I just found him annoying.
Yeah.
By the end, I wanted to watch him fucking suffer.
Yeah.
And I don't think he got the worst death.
Who had the worst death?
Perry. That was crazy.
Had it just been him alone, I don't think it wouldn't have been as bad. But being in a room full of people dying around you.
And just also, by the way, I didn't confirm this anywhere, but I heard on TikTok, so definitely not confirmed.
Ooh, okay.
But someone said that the cast called that scene the cuddle puddle, which is fucking foul.
No, that's so cute. They were cuddling. They had to have been cuddling.
The squelching noise? No.
Oh yeah, the squelching was terrible.
Oh. But yeah, once you like find out, I mean, you kind of know that Verna's behind it, but
Yeah.
when she's like, yeah, I could have chosen any way for you to die with the Frederick. She's like, I chose this because you tortured your wife. And it's like, so you chose to do that to Perry? Because like, yeah, they all kind of sucked, but he was 25. Like, he was kind of just a kid.
Yeah.
A
Perry
horny
was a fun
kid.
little freak. Yeah.
He was just a little weirdo. I don't think he deserved all that.
No.
It's crazy.
It was really fun to watch though. But I did know it was gonna happen. The second they were talking about like the pipes and
Yeah.
yeah, they didn't lead into that one any. But it was pretty. Yeah.
It was obvious that something was going to happen with the pipes, and that
Yeah.
was going to cause, yeah.
Yeah. Didn't
Yeah.
expect it to be as fun as it was, but
I did not know that the show went as hard as it did.
it slapped.
It didn't hold back,
No.
and I liked it.
Yeah. It was pretty fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I think favorite death, though?
Mhm.
Tamerlane's.
Yeah.
That was, it sounds so morbid to say, but that was fucking stunning.
Oh yeah.
Like, just gorgeously shot.
The
When
slow
she
motion
jumps and the slow-mo fall and it's all
Mhm.
green, which I love the use of colors as well.
Mhm. Oh yeah, everybody had a color, huh?
Yeah, each of the Usher kids had a color. Do you want to tell the people what they were?
I mean, I didn't write this down. I just noticed it right now.
Oh, okay.
Perry's was red. Tamerlane's was green. What's his face was blue. The pendulum
Frederick.
guy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Camille. I remember her scene. It felt very white, like stale. Like, yeah, was
White.
it really? Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Good one. Okay, I'm on a roll.
Leo, Napoleon.
Who?
Leo, Napoleon, the cat.
Orange.
Close.
Yellow.
Yellow.
Okay.
And then Victorine's was what you just said. Orange.
Orange. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember how Victorine dies.
She stabs
Actually.
herself after she kills her.
Oh, that's
Girlfriend.
right.
That was
I mean,
another
I
part. I was like, ooh.
Well, she didn't. I mean, it wasn't after her girlfriend had been dead for a while. It wasn't like.
Yeah, but after she realizes she killed her.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Shit.
Yeah, it was like Perry's death was the worst, and then I think Allie's was right. Although Allie's still, because she's just like her like convulsing and dying on the floor while Victorine's just like telling her it was an accident. I'm like, oh no,
That was
you
awful.
deserve to die. I'm not gonna feel bad for you.
No, that was so sad. Are you kidding?
So awful. Yeah.
Terrible.
It did a really good job of, you kind of enjoy the characters, but you don't really feel that bad when they die.
No.
Except for Lenore, obviously.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, back to the colors real quick. That was kind of in referencing to the story of the Mask of the Red Death. That that's about like a party, and each room has a different color in this like mansion.
Oh.
But he followed the color scheme of Roger Corman's film adaptation rather than Poe's actual short story. But still kind of an homage to that, and that's why they used such distinctive colors for each death.
I love that.
It made it very visually stunning.
Yeah. Yeah. I literally just realized.
Yeah.
Fun. But yeah, there's so much Poe lore.
A lot of references,
So much Poe lore. Like all the names. Roderick and Madeline's mother, Eliza, was based on Edgar Allan Poe's birth mother, Eliza. But then her character was actually based on his adopted mother, Frances, who was super religious and pious, I think is the word they used. Edgar Allan Poe had an actual nemesis named Rufus Griswold. I mean, there's a gazillion of them. Fortunato Pharmaceuticals was named by the show writers after the victim in the Cask of Amontillado. What else?
The neighbor Longfellow is named after a real-life American poet, Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, who was a rival of Edgar Allan Poe.
Oh, yeah. He worked with Rufus Griswold.
I think so, yeah. And then pretty much every name in the show is based on a story. Tamerlane is the story of the same name. Arthur Pym is from a story where he actually does travel through shipwreck, mutiny, and cannibals. So
fun.
Yeah. Yeah, and lots of references too. Like the joke about your head on a platinum plate is a reference to a Poe's short story. So it's all references. They crammed a lot in.
Totally. Pym made a comment about Richard Parker, which I learned is a Poe reference, not a Life of Pi reference.
That'd be a crazy reference.
Life of Pi is one of those movies that everybody should watch at least once. It's incredible.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, I've seen it. And I saw it live on stage in Edinburgh.
Wow.
It was wonderful. One of my favorite memories.
Nice.
We didn't mention Verna, an anagram for Raven.
It is.
And her last name is Clem, which is Poe's wife's maiden's name.
Yeah, that was clever. I didn't really think about that. I kept thinking the last episode, which I feel like every episode kind of focuses on one person.
Yeah.
Except for the first and the last.
Okay, yeah.
But the last I kept seeing that the name was the Raven. And instead of thinking of Verna, because I'm not thinking that that's an anagram, I was thinking of Lenore. So I kept thinking like, oh God, like I like kind of knew Lenore was gonna die because it's called The Raven, and that's where Lenore comes from, is the poem The Raven. So yeah, the first episode, I was convinced that either Dupont did not have an informant, which turned out to be true, or it was Lenore because her name was the last episode. But I think it was like the second episode, she calls again and he ignores it. And I was like, oh, she's dead. Never mind. Like,
oh, sad. At least she had a easy little death.
Yeah, I appreciated that Verna let her know that there was going to be good things that happened because of her.
Yeah.
It's still so sad.
And that the mom lives.
Yeah.
Look, would you even want to at that point? Not me.
Personally, I don't even want to live right now. I'm joking. But
true. So true, bestie.
But living after having gone through that, plus then losing, well, your husband turning into a fucking sociopath and then losing your daughter. Oh.
Yeah.
I think I'm good, man.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Totally. A lighter note, my favorite name reference in Never Bet the Devil Your Head, there's an annoying character of some sorts named Toby Dammit. And that's why Camille keeps saying, damn it, Toby. Toby, damn it.
Yeah.
So much throughout the show.
I think the scene where she's yelling at them.
Oh, yes. Like, they're in love.
Just the part where she's like, oh, how convenient that you fall in love right after I pay off your student loans, Tina. She's like, my name's Beth. You know my name's Beth. And she's like, I don't give a fuck, Beth. Tina and Tony at work make me laugh, so you're fucking Tina. I was dying. That was so funny.
Yeah. This is definitely the funniest of the three that we've watched by far. This one felt like it actually
Absolutely.
was a comedy.
Yeah, they definitely included some funny moments in there for sure.
Yeah, I forgot she died so early.
Yeah.
Because we were fighting about that last night and a couple nights ago. Several times we fought about what episode that was that she dies. And it's literally the third episode out of 8. So
Yeah. Yeah. I think when we were recording our last episode, I was like, yeah, I'm on episode 3. And you were like, who's it focusing on? I was like, Camille. And you're like, I don't think that's episode 3.
So. That's like
was
episode 6.
I was like, I'm pretty sure I was on episode 3. I started it back up and she's dying. And I was like, it was definitely episode 3.
Yeah. Whew, that scene.
Yeah. Also not a good way to go.
Well, there are definitely worse ways, but yeah. It's not.
Yeah, Perry's.
Yeah.
Perry, Allie, Camille.
Well, Allie's was quick.
Allie's wasn't. She's laying on the floor the whole time.
You talking about the doctor, Alessandra?
Yeah, the Victorine's girlfriend.
Yeah, I feel like she was dead. I don't think she was there anymore.
She was gurgling.
You can gurgle and be not there anymore.
I think she was there.
Well, I like to hope that she wasn't.
Yeah. Well, then it's either her or Frederick. Frederick's wasn't great.
The worst? Or the
Yeah.
second worst?
Like, up
Perry,
there.
and then Frederick.
No, Perry. Then I'd almost say Perry, Camille, Frederick.
Camille's was worse than Frederick's?
I don't want to get mauled to death. You don't know how long that took.
Oh, yeah, good point. She just kind of sat there and took it, though. She didn't,
Well,
run
I think she
away
was
or anything.
confused.
Yeah.
She thought she was talking to a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then who else? Victorine and Tamerlane both just kind of get stabbed.
Yeah. Tamerlane at least had a cool slow motion action sequence.
Yeah, hers looked cooler.
Mm-hmm.
But probably a little... Well, no, they both kind of went a little cray-cray beforehand.
Yeah.
Leo, too. But he just kind of fell to his death, so that's not that bad.
Leo's the cat.
Oh, yeah, the episode.
Yeah.
I was like, no, Leo's the man, but...
Yeah.
Yes, the cat episode.
But it's funny that his name is Leo, and that means lion and cat.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Overall, not great deaths. Not great ways to go.
No.
Yeah. And it's all Roderick's fault.
I think it's all Madeline's fault.
She hesitated.
Barely.
No. When the deal was offered to them, she hesitated. Roderick said, I'd say it's a done deal. And she looked at him like, okay. And when Verna turned to her, she said, it's not my decision to make. Like, it's Roderick's. And she's like, no, you're either in this together or you're not. And then she agreed because Roderick was all in. I swear this entire series painted her out to be the bad guy. And then the last scene, you're like, no. Or not the last scene, but the last episode, you're like, Roderick kind of fucking sucks.
Yeah. I mean, to be
He
fair,
already did. He signed his kid's death certificate.
everybody sucks in this show.
Yeah, that's true.
Except him. And Juno.
I don't know. Team Juno was great. Big fan of Juno.
Yeah.
Ruth Cott is on TikTok.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Ruth Cott plays Juno, if you didn't know. But yeah, she's funny.
Someone named IRL Daria on Reddit mentioned something that I thought was super interesting.
Mm.
Griswold tells Roderick that Fortunato makes its money off medical devices and isn't interested in drugs.
Mm.
Then Roderick takes over the company, changes the course of it, and moves them into drugs, painkillers, obviously. And then later he needs a device that doesn't exist, but might have had Fortunato stayed on the device train.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Sucks to be him, I guess.
Yeah. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, that is.
Fun little theory.
Yeah, they sucked.
Yeah. Not a lot of likable characters in this one.
I think they were like likable, but in a way that's like they're funny, but if they were real life people, you'd hate them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I liked the character of Camille. Did I feel that bad when she died? No. That's kind of how I feel like a lot of the characters were.
But I think that's the thing. That's what differentiates Midnight Mass.
Hmm?
Because there are characters that you fucking hate and you are rooting for them to die. And Hill House, where there are characters where you're genuinely disappointed that they die.
Yeah.
And in this show, it was like, oh, they died. Like, whatever. I don't feel bad for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Which I almost feel is why they went more of a comedy route with this one.
Yeah.
Because you're not supposed to feel that bad when they die. They're awful people.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you add in that comedy aspect, and then it's... They're not trying to tear at your heartstrings like they were in Haunting of Hill House, and they're not trying to agitate you like they were in Midnight Mass. Which, speaking of Midnight Mass, Zach Gilford plays Henry Thomas's son in Midnight Mass. But in this movie, even though it's in flashbacks, Zach Gilford technically plays Henry Thomas's dad in this show.
Oh.
So they switched roles.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, I thought that was funny.
Oh, wait. I think we gave that fact when we talked about Midnight Mass.
Did we really?
I think so. But
That's
the opposite,
funny.
obviously.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was
Also-
moms. Maybe it was moms.
Mm.
Yeah, Katie Siegel. And Carla Gugino.
Okay, yeah.
They play a mom and daughter and then opposite daughter.
In
mom.
Hill House, and then... No.
I'm confused.
We're gonna get there sometime. Oh, it was in Gerald's Game, I think. Because in a flashback,
Oh, yeah.
I think that's what it is.
You're right.
Yeah. Another Flanagan.
Yeah. What's his face is in that too?
Who?
Roderick.
Henry Thomas, yeah.
Yeah. Wait, what? No.
Oh, not Roderick, sorry. Bruce Greenwood.
Yes.
I was thinking Froderick.
Which when they were saying Froderick, I was imagining FRAUD.
Oh, like fraud.
Like fraudulent Roderick.
Oh, she said, though.
What was it?
She was like, Frederick's as close you can get to a name as Roderick instead of Roderick II. Might as well call him Froderick. It's like the whole that she says it.
Right, but does she mean Froderick, like FRAUD, because it's as close as you can get, so you might as well, like, it's a fraud.
I think she means like he's trying to be his dad so bad.
Yeah,
that they're
fraud.
just adding.
Like, it's fraudulent.
They're combining the names. I think that works too.
Okay.
I'm not sure if that's how they meant it, but it could be. I don't know.
The subtitles don't say it the way that I want them to say it.
Yeah, the subtitles said it the way I was thinking of it, which is just combining the two's names. Also, speaking of Gerald's Game and just other Flanagan stuff that if you're a fan of his, you can see The Lasser Glass from the 2013 movie Oculus, which Mike Flanagan did, is featured in the background of a lot of his projects, but it's here as well in the New Year's Eve bar. It's in the background. And then the Ouija board from Ouija Origin of Evil, which Flanagan also did, can be seen in Madeline and Roderick's childhood home when they bury their mom.
And the girl that plays very young Madeline is in that movie.
Probably.
She is. Confirmed.
Okay, I was like, I should not look her up. But.
It's either her or like middle-aged Madeline. One of the Madelines, not the older Madeline, was in.
Willa Fitzgerald.
Maybe.
I don't remember her in it. Yeah, she's not in the cast. Yeah, I'm assuming the younger one.
Okay.
Willa Fitzgerald, though, she's in Strange Darling right now, which is in theaters.
Oh yeah. It's funny that you say that because I saw that she was in Strange Darling and I was like, oh my god, she was in Don't Worry, Darling. But that's not the same thing.
No. Those are two different movies.
Yeah, when I saw Strange Darling, I thought Don't Worry, Darling. I was like, oh my god.
No.
It's Harry Styles.
Not that we know. Maybe she does, but
Maybe
not through Don't Worry, Darling, I don't believe. Oh, and then the other reference, when Lenore is scrolling through Netflix to find a movie to watch with her mom, Gerald's Game pops up. So
cute.
Yeah. Lots of little Flanaverse tidbits for you.
Yeah. Well, I don't think those are. We had this fight last time too. I don't think those are
Yeah.
Flanaverse movies. I think because they're not. It's like not the same universe. You know what I mean?
No.
Those are like standalone.
Okay. Are they not all standalone stories?
Well, I don't know. They're not like his stories. Like the Ouija story is not his story. Oculus isn't. Gerald's game isn't his story.
Oculus is.
Is it? Are you sure?
Almost positive.
Honestly, this movie isn't even his story. It's Edgar Allan Poe's, but just looking.
Yeah, wait, so does this not count?
I don't know.
Yeah, Oculus was his. It was based on his short story, or his short film. Oculus. So yes. And
Okay.
Ouija Origin of Evil was like, he wrote the screenplay. It's technically a prequel, but like, it's like the only time where I'm like, wow, I'll accept this prequel and we're just not going to talk about the original movie.
Really?
The original movie's so bad, and then the prequel's like surprisingly good.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Isn't Ouija a Hasbro property?
No, I just always joke that it's not real because it's made by Hasbro.
Yeah.
Um,
But isn't it?
no, I don't think it's. I think they make them, but I don't think it's their property
Okay.
because you can like make your own spirit board. Hasbro Plus Ouija board. You can buy it on Hasbro. I don't think a Hasbro toy is gonna kill me, but a Hasbro toy hasn't killed me.
It's not the toy that'll kill you.
Okay, well, hasn't yet, so.
It's not going to. It's the ghosts.
Well, the ghost hasn't killed me yet either.
Yeah.
Sounds to me like ghosts are little bitches. Bring it on.
Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
you didn't talk about Hush.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's right. There was a Hush reference as well.
Yeah, the mask that Jenny wears during the masquerade is the same design as the mask killer wears in Hush. 2016.
That's true.
Directed by Mike Flanagan.
Yeah. I didn't organize my notes very well, so that was at the bottom.
That's all right.
Whoops. Should we talk about like the bummer fun facts? Should we just really kill the mood?
Yeah, let's. I mean, I only have one bummer fact.
Oh, what's yours?
Frank Langella. What's his name?
I thought it was Langella, but it could be Langella.
Okay. Frank Langella was originally cast as Roderick.
Mm-hmm.
But he sucks. He got fired for harassment on set. Crazy.
Yeah.
Well, he got fired following an investigation of allegations of harassment on set. So, do with that what you will.
We can link a Deadline article that I read about it because I think it's pretty clear that he was.
Ugh.
He doesn't even really deny it.
Oh.
He just like blames like woke cancel culture and says that he should be allowed to make sexual jokes at people in the workplace. So I think it's pretty clear that he did what they fired him for.
Cute.
But yeah, apparently speculation because people aren't named obviously in it, but now that the show's come out, you can kind of figure out who was who. Like apparently he made a comment about I'm assuming the actor Perry's penis during the scene where he was covered in makeup. Yeah. And then I don't know if it was the actress who played Madeline or the actress who played Juno, but I think one of them he like was touching inappropriately that wasn't blocked out by the intimacy coordinator.
Oh.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Gross.
We can link the article I found because it was like, yeah, he doesn't even really deny it. So I think it's pretty clear cut. But yeah, luckily they fired him and Bruce Greenwood took over and he did a great job.
Which is crazy. Like fire someone mid movie.
Yeah, I mean they had to only be like a couple episodes in. But yeah, I'm glad they took it seriously. Cost. Yeah. Yeah, I will say though, I get he wants to use the same people, and they're all good actors. I have no qualms with them.
Mhm.
Do
Well,
I think that Zach Gilford looks like he turns into Bruce Greenwood? No, I do not. I don't think they look even related. So that is.
no.
I kept thinking of them as almost separate characters because I was like, they just don't look like they could even be the same person.
Yeah.
Which is so weird because Haunting of Hill House did an amazing job with that. Like
The
the kids
kids to the
look
adults.
so much like their adult counterparts.
Yeah.
But I get it, you want Zach Gilford, so and actually I guess it's Bruce Greenwood because he took over.
He
Yeah, the only other
especially doesn't look like Frank Langella.
no, not really. The only other bummer news I had is that like I think that the Ushers are kind of based on a real family.
Yep.
Yeah, the Sackler family, who are pretty much responsible for the OxyContin opioid crisis. So, but they were named like the worst family or the most evil family in the world or something like that.
Yep.
They're bad people. They just pushed really addictive drugs and overprescribed them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the New Yorker has a really
Yeah.
good profile about them called "The Family That Built an Empire of Pain." Highly recommend. We'll link it in the description. Linky in the description.
Winky in the description.
They made billions off of turning people into addicts,
Yep.
and there are still, to this day, court proceedings about all of that. Like right now, involving how they handled the victim settlements.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
None of them have died.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's very much like a flaunt your wealth, don't care about anybody but yourself kind of family.
Yeah. Like if you're rich enough, you can get away with whatever.
Yep.
Yeah. So that sucks.
Hopefully some of the proceedings that are happening right now are trying to overturn their immunity that they gained from some previous court proceeding.
Mm.
So there could be some justice.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know there's been like mini-series and docu-series and stuff about them too. Netflix has one, Painkiller, and then Hulu has one called Dope Sick.
Mm-hmm.
I think one was Oscar nominated.
Yeah.
There's one called All the Beauty and the Bloodshed. That was the one that was nominated for an Oscar.
As far as Dope Sick wasn't. Well, Painkiller was good too.
I never watched any of them, but I heard that Dope Sick was very good. Yeah. But Dope Sick, it was a mini series. It was like a dramatization, so it wasn't. I don't think it was eligible for an Oscar.
Oh yeah, okay. That would be an Emmy, right?
Oh, there you go. At the 74th Primetime Emmy Awards, the series received 14 nominations.
Dope Sick.
Yeah, Dope Sick. With Keaton winning for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Limited or Anthology. Yeah, Michael Keaton.
Oh my god.
He was in it. And he also won as lead actor at the 75th Golden Globes Awards, the 28th Screen Actors Guild Award, and the 12th Critics' Choice Television Awards. So
yeah, like I said,
Michael Keaton won a lot of awards for Dope Sick.
Yeah, damn.
Yeah, it's a good cast. I'm gonna watch that now.
Who else is in it?
Just close the tab. Hold on.
Right click, reopen, close tab.
Yeah, I'm doing it. Michael Keaton, Peter Skarsgård, Michael Stuhlbarg, Will Poulter, Caitlin Dever, Rosario Dawson.
Oh my god!
It's just knockout after knockout after knockout.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Mayor Winningham. Jesus. Yeah. All right. All right. You got me. I'll do it. I'll watch it.
Add it to the list.
Add it to the list. All right. Do you have any other fun facts?
No, I'm ready to rate it.
You're ready to rate it? Me too.
I mean, we could talk for days about all the Poe references, like just
so many.
Yeah, if you're interested in that,
so many.
Reddit is what I recommend. I went down a huge rabbit hole.
Oh yeah. Oh, one last thing. Can I ask a question?
Yeah, of course.
Why was the New Year's Eve party a costume party? Do people do that?
Wait, I mean, I think costume party is a theme.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, I was confused about that watching it because I was like, Why are they all dressed up in costumes?
I don't
I've
know.
never been to a New Year's Eve party where I've been to a New Year's Eve party where you dress up, but not
Yeah.
in a costume.
Yeah, no, good point.
Like a Halloween. It looked like a Halloween party.
You're right, it did.
Yeah, like she was dressed up as a flapper. The guy's dressed up as a jester, which maybe it was just an excuse to get him in a jester's costume for the bells and stuff. I don't know.
Well, I think,
But-
like I say, I think costume is a theme. Like it's a themed party. Like you have a luau party, or you have a,
Yeah.
you know.
Why isn't anyone inviting me to a costume themed New Year's Eve party?
I don't know. I would
I
like
want to
to
go.
also.
My friends suck. Just kidding. I'm in Iowa every year for New Year's.
Yeah, so it's your own fault.
My family sucks.
Your family sucks. Tell them to invite you to a costume party.
I will.
Good. Right, let's rate it.
Okay.
How scary did you think it was? Is that what we
I
started
give it a
with?
1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, 1.
Yeah, there were like a couple jump scares, but they didn't really get me. And also, I think because it was kind of funny and I wasn't that sad about the deaths, it just was like a tone thing for me.
Yeah, totally.
What about you?
I give it a 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't think that the jump scares were as effective as Hill House.
Mm.
And the tone wasn't as scary as Midnight Mass.
Mm-hmm.
So I only give it a 2. Midnight Mass was definitely scarier, but there were still some good jump scares.
Yeah.
And then the 2 scenes that really stuck out to me as like genuinely scary were the mom being like lost in the house and then coming up behind Roderick.
Oh, yeah.
That was a little spooky. And then the whole chimpanzee scene was very unsettling.
Yeah.
And props to Carla Gugino for making that scene as scary as it was, because holy shit.
Oh, she popped her whole pussy for this role.
Yeah, totally.
Killed it.
Yeah, I love her.
Yeah.
I'll say her name differently every time, but I do love her.
I think you said it right. Gugino?
Gugino.
I think that's correct.
I think so.
Yeah. How sexy did you think it was?
I give it a 2.5. It was
Correct.
pretty sexy. I even saw there was like a YouTube video that was like, follow the House of Usher, how it's scary and horny. Oh, you know what it was? It was an IGN. It was a trailer.
Oh,
It was like a clip
interesting.
of
Okay.
Carla Gugino and Perry. That scene where
Yeah.
she's like on the bed or whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, I mean, you've got the whole Prospero episode.
Mhm.
The entire cast is really easy to look at.
Yeah.
And you have the hired threesome assistants.
Yes.
It's a good amount of sexy without taking away from the plot, I think.
Yeah. I agree with everything you said.
Thank you. What did...
Rating included.
Oh my god, okay, good.
Yeah. Rated it a 2.5 for cast, vibes, and some of those a little sexy scenes without being too overt or crass or anything. It was well done.
Well, I don't mind crass.
Oh, I don't
But
either,
when it,
in the right
when it
context.
takes away, when it takes away from the plot, that's annoying.
Yeah.
When you're just showing boobs to show boobs, like, okay.
Yeah, right, we get it.
I want boobs with a purpose.
Boobs with a purpose. That's what we're fighting for.
Yeah.
Also, real quick, I saw on an interview with Carla Gugino where she said, they asked basically when she read the script, which version of Verna she was most excited to play.
Mhm.
And then after she was done, which one was her favorite, like looking back on it, if it changed at all. And she had said that the Perry's death, like, was when she read the script, she was like, that's going to be fun to play. Like, I'm excited for that. And she was like, I wish that scene would have been longer because she loved her monologue for that and what she was saying to Perry. But she said afterwards, her being the cat lady person.
Oh, yeah.
It's like selling Leo the cat. She was like, that was my favorite in hindsight because she was just so like kind of no nonsense. Animals are better than people.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I thought that was kind of funny.
Fun.
Yeah.
How fucked up did you think it was?
I gave it a 2.5.
Oh, okay.
This kind of surprised me. I wasn't expecting it to be as fucked up as it was. Perry's death was crazy. Allie's death was crazy. Not only the like her actually dying and like gurgling. I don't like gurgling. That's the thing about me. I don't like
There's
that.
a lot of gurgling in this
It
show.
happened for so long and she's just dying there. But then also like her afterwards with the heart thing inside and her just sitting there, I was like, holy shit. And then like when he's trying to tell Frederick's story, and he's like, yeah, he's gonna appear any minute now, but then kid version of him comes and he just splits him in half. I was like, holy shit. So yeah, I thought there was like a good deal of moments that were pretty fucked up.
Okay.
What about you?
I only gave it a 2.
Yeah?
Yeah. I gave it a 0.5 for like the animal stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The cat with the fingers in the eyes, terrible. And like
Yeah.
the surgery on the chimpanzees. And then a 0.5 for just like the volume of moderately fucked up things. Like there wasn't
Okay.
anything that was like really groundbreaking. I didn't like this. I also did not like the squelching.
Yeah, the squelching was too much.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It just didn't bother me.
I mean, it didn't bother me, but it was still fucked up.
I gave it a 2.5. I don't know.
You told me that I wasn't allowed to rate things just because you've seen them before doesn't mean they're not fucked up. So I
That's true.
went by that and was like, these were all the fucked up things that happened.
That's true.
And it added up to a 2.5. It didn't bother me though. I was having a great time.
Okay, good. Yeah, maybe it should be a 2.5, but my heart says 2.
That's fine. You don't, rate it with your heart.
Good, I did. Next time, rate it with your brain.
Next time, rate it with your brain. All right. Overall, what did you think?
Okay, I have a lot to say.
Mm.
So buckle up.
Okay, I'm buckled.
Okay, so up until a couple days ago, because I watched this like 2 weeks ago, I had thought that this was my favorite of the 3 Flanaverse shows that we've watched.
Okay.
Hill House.
Mm-hmm. Midnight Mass.
I was going to say Vampire Weekend. And House of Usher. The more I thought about it, though, Hill House is still absolutely my favorite, like no question, for several reasons. What was compelling about Hill House is, like, obviously the characters and the character development, the effective jump scares. I just don't, like, there just aren't effective jump scares anymore, but Hill House had those. And the twist was earth-shattering.
Yeah.
So first of all, there weren't really any, like, really likable characters in Usher.
Mm-hmm.
I liked Perry, little freak, and I liked Juno. Juno was adorable.
Yeah.
And Pim, of course, Pim. But like they weren't as great or as compelling as like the Crane family. Maybe Pim was, but for the most part, like there wasn't anybody as compelling. There also weren't really any like unlikable characters to attach to.
Mm-hmm.
Like Bev Keane is the
Midnight
worst
Mass,
character
yeah.
in any horror movie ever. And Flanagan just couldn't recreate that in this. And then the twists. I really wanted there to be a better twist. Okay. The only time that, I mean, I know this has some source material, but they did take a little bit of creative freedom with that. And it's like, I think they could have come up with a really good twist. But I will give some credit to the way that the alley thing played out, where Vic throws the statue and she's just screaming, and then like that's the end of the scene.
Mm-hmm.
And then later, like it might even have been another episode, you find out that she hit her in the head. My mouth fucking dropped open.
Yeah.
That one really got me. But anyway, that didn't have the impact of the bent neck lady. Like I'm not still thinking about that. I just, at the time, it was really good.
Yeah.
So anyway, despite all of that, this is the funniest of the shows.
Mm-hmm.
It was my favorite overarching concept. I love the whole Edgar Allan Poe thing. That's fun, and it makes me want to go and like read the stories and be in on all the jokes. And there were some really spectacular acting.
Mm-hmm.
Carla Gugino, Tania Miller, Ruth Codd as Juno. It was really fun to see Mark Hamill in it. I love Mark Hamill. And I love Bruce Greenwood. He's in my favorite horror TV show ever that you hated, but is what it is.
I didn't hate it.
Well, you didn't like it, so...
I didn't love it.
Did you like it?
It was fine, yeah.
Ugh, well, anyway.
It just... The first episode took me off guard, but after I got into like the idea of it, then I was fine with it.
Okay. Well, we're talking about The River, if anybody cares. Yeah. It was like a 5-episode show on ABC in like 2014 that nobody has seen except us two. And only because I forced her to watch it. Anyway, all of that to say, I gave it a 3.5 out of 5.
All right.
It was good. Was it great? Kind of. But not as great as Hill House.
Got it.
Okay, sorry.
No, yeah.
What did you give it?
I was trying not to compare
Hard.
if I have to. Like, it's very, very difficult to beat Hill House for me personally. I think that show is fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I gave it a 5 out of 5. Like, it's a masterpiece in my opinion. And I enjoyed Midnight Mass. It wasn't my favorite, but I liked it.
Vampire
This
Weekend.
this sits in between for me. I really enjoyed, again, the modernization and how they interwove the stories into it. I thought it was very smart and very well done. As someone who's read a lot of his stories, nothing was super surprising to me.
Yeah.
So I knew that she had killed her because I've read The Telltale Heart. So I knew that she was hearing the heartbeat and that it was going to be that mesh. Like, I could put those pieces together, which was still really fun. Like, it was still fun to put it together and be like, oh my gosh, that's what's happening.
Yeah.
But it also kind of takes away some of the mystery of it, right? Like, you're not wondering what's going to happen, you know. And that's even from the first moment that they're in the house and he hears the banging in the basement. I knew that he had already killed Matt. Like, I knew he had tried to kill Madeline, you know what I mean? Because that's in the original story where Madeline and Roderick are. She bursts out of the basement and she's still alive. So it's like, I already knew that was going to happen. So it's kind of more anticipation rather than wondering. But it didn't necessarily take away much from it for me. I still really enjoyed seeing it all play out. And again, it was funny. There were a lot of amazing performances. Yeah. I think near the end, it kind of lost me a little bit. It got a little, I was like, Mike Flanagan, you're doing it again with the monologues.
Yep.
He loves his monologues, especially near the end of a show.
Monologues. It wasn't so bad in this one, though.
It wasn't as bad as Midnight Mass, but it was a little bit worse than Hill House.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, I ended up giving it a 4. I liked
Nice.
it. Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot.
Very good.
A lot of fun.
So all that to say, you had more fun than I did, so you probably do want to read all of Edgar Allan Poe's stuff prior to
We
watching
figured
this.
it out.
Yeah,
We answered the question that we came here to answer.
Yeah. It's really a balance of, do you want to be part of the jokes? And I don't necessarily mean jokes. I mean, like, do you want to be like in on all the secrets?
What's happening?
Or do you want to be surprised?
Yeah.
I think I would have rather been in on the secrets.
Yeah.
I think so.
That's fair. I mean, I'll also say I think it matters if you're a fan of Poe or not, right? Like, I loved his poetry when that was the only reason. I think we did like a whole section on him in AP English, and that was like the only part that I paid attention to because I just liked his stories. They were interesting and they were cool and they were dark, and I was like a little goth kid. I was excited. So yeah, if you've read them all but you're not really a fan of them, it's probably not going to be your thing. But
yeah,
if you liked it, this is definitely your thing. Watch the show. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But the real question is, would you survive?
I don't think my dad's making a deal with the devil.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I put myself in the kids' shoes.
Yeah, that's interesting that you immediately went to being at the mercy of your father.
Yeah, well, what can I say? I mean, whose shoes do you put yourself in? Roderick's?
I think it depends.
I mean, the death count is very high. The body count is extremely high in this movie.
Yeah.
Show.
I think it comes down to if you're Roderick or Madeline, are you making the deal?
Yeah.
You are.
No, I was agreeing with you. Sorry. God,
I think
please.
that's what it comes down to.
Yes,
right?
agreed. I agree with you.
We don't need to speculate on if our dads are going to make the deal.
Okay, so if I personally making a deal with the devil, that will kill my children, but I will be very successful.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Then I think you're good.
Okay, I live.
There you go.
Okay. What about you? Well, I would still take over the company, though. That company's mine. And then...
I think the implication, though, was
Is
that
that
they
you
were
don't
going to
get
get
to?
caught.
Okay.
That she intervened basically and saved them from. I think that's the implication, right?
Yeah. Oh, I forgot. You know what? I genuinely forgot that they killed him before they met her.
Yes.
Yeah, that was my bad. Oh, fuck.
You thought they made a deal and then killed a guy when they didn't
So
have
I'm
to?
going to jail? You're telling me I don't die and I get to go to jail?
Win-win.
Hell yeah. All right. Well,
I think let me just check here. Yeah, I think this is the first time since we started the podcast that I think I die and you don't.
really? You're making a deal with the devil?
I wouldn't, because I'm putting it like if it's me and my sister sitting there.
Uh-huh.
If she's hesitant, no, I'm not saying yes.
Okay.
If my sister's like, let's fucking do it, I'm in.
Yeah.
Because he lives to be 73. That's a fine length of life.
But
I'm
the
good
kids,
with that.
the kids.
Me and my sister have no plans to ever have kids. So I'm taking the Madeline route, which is fucking responsible, thank you, Roderick, and getting my tubes tied. Boom. Bam. Bob. I live to be either 70 or 73, depending on if it's my sister's death or mine.
Roderick already had kids at that point.
Yeah, but we don't.
Okay.
I'm putting myself in the situation.
Okay.
We don't have kids.
Wow.
I think, and I'm gonna be honest, I think my sister would take the deal too.
You think so?
I think so. If we knew it was 73, that's a pretty long life.
So here's the other thing.
I think we would say yes.
Here's the other thing.
Yeah.
I don't think you're getting offered a deal.
I don't think so either, because I
So
think
you're
we'd
dead.
be
I mean,
more-
you live.
I live because I don't get the deal, but I'm
I
putting
think
myself
so.
in the situation where I do get the deal. I mean, we wouldn't have killed someone in the first place, so yeah, you're right. We wouldn't have gotten the deal. Fuck.
Oh, see, well, I put myself in the shoes if I killed somebody.
I wouldn't have killed somebody.
Because what kills them is they make
I
the
probably
deal.
would have helped Dupont
Okay.
in the past.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what kills them is that they make the deal. So everything before that has already happened.
But it's also, it doesn't even kill, like, Roderick kind of gets off. Roderick was going to die anyway. That's what she tells them, is that you're going to die a little bit before you would have already, because he had the heart thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's Madeline, really, whose life was cut short. Like, she
Yeah.
makes the sacrifice.
Yeah.
So if that was what I was told, like, if I'm in Madeline's shoes, and they're like, oh, when your sister dies, you're going to die too, but, like, she's going to live a really long life, and also you get everything you've ever wanted, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Because my sister's pretty healthy. I think she's going to live a while.
Yeah.
And also, I'm assuming that she's going to outlive my mom, and if my mom and my sister are dead, I'm good. I can bow out. I'm fine.
Yeah.
I don't really want to live that long anyway, so I think I would take the deal if I'm being honest. Although, does she only offer it to people who aren't going to do bad things with it? Is that the vibe? Because I
Yeah.
wouldn't. I genuinely, to my core, believe that I would use that money responsibly.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah,
never get people addicted to drugs. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I don't think you're getting a deal. But if
I
you
don't
get a
get the
deal,
deal.
you would take it.
I'm going to count
agree.
it as I got the deal.
Okay.
Because I want to die once when you don't die.
Okay, that's fair.
I think you deserve to outlive me at least once in this podcast.
Thank you. Thank you. And I will.
You will. Right now.
Amazing. Wow.
Perfect. All right, do you want to predict next week's movie?
I do.
You know what it is this time.
I do.
I'm so proud of you.
I know
All right,
who's
tell
in
me
it.
what. Great. Tell me everything you know about The Witch.
I know everything about this fucking movie.
Great.
The Witch stars
Mm-hmm.
Anya Taylor-Joy
Yes.
as a goat
Yes.
who has turned into a woman to infiltrate an old-timey family on their homestead.
You've already seen it.
I have not seen this movie.
Oh my god, okay, tell me more.
Is she a goat? She's not a goat. Is she a fucking
You
goat?
just told me she was a goat.
She's a goat. She, the goat, kills and then pretends to be the daughter of the priest of a really remote, small Amish town.
Mm-hmm.
And slowly she starts turning people into goats by sticking her goat tongue into their people mouths until the entire Amish community is now goats disguised as people. And those goats serve the scariest part of the movie, which is the witch, who is also a goat and steals people's humanity with her goat tongue also. She uses her goat tongue to steal people. And then they're not people, then they're goats in people bodies. And then at some point in the movie, I think someone's human to goat transition gets a little funky and they're goat from the waist down. And then also the goats eat bunnies.
You saw it on TikTok. Or you read it?
No.
Katie,
I've seen pictures from it.
you didn't just guess the entire plot like that.
That's not... Is that really the entire plot?
No, are you kidding me?
Oh
A
my
goat
God.
lady? Come on.
Damn it.
Can you imagine though? No, you're wrong.
Oh my God.
But it does start Anya Taylor-Joy, so
That's all I got right?
pretty much.
There's a goat.
There is a goat.
And it's fucking cute. It's a cute ass goat. There's a
Well,
witch.
He has a name.
There is a witch.
His name is Black Thomas.
Oh, I think I knew that. And he's
Yeah.
like an auburn color.
Or
which
Black
is
Phillip,
weird.
sorry. Her name is Thomason. Black Phillip.
Okay.
Is the goat.
Somebody sticks their tongue somewhere it doesn't belong. I know that much.
I don't know what you're thinking of.
Oh, okay.
But it has been a while since I've seen this.
Mm.
And someone is accused of being a witch.
Wow. And they're Amish-ish.
Well, it's the 1600s.
Oh. They were Amish before it was called that.
Yeah, it's just settlers.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I really thought this one out. I thought it was close.
Yeah, did you read that off did you write it all down?
I wrote it down this time.
Yeah.
I've never done that before.
I love that you nailed it. Not
Thank
really,
you.
like you nailed the presentation.
The delivery. Yeah.
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 But yeah, I'm excited for this one. It's been a while since I've seen it, and it's A24.
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I saw something comparing it to The Lighthouse, which I thought was funny.
They're both by Robert Eggers.
Oh.
Yeah.
And that's A24 too, right? Lighthouse is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. He has done... There's one other... Is there another horror film that he's done?
Have you gotten your A24 membership
No,
yet?
it's Nosferatu.
Oh,
That's it.
yeah.
He's got his third coming out.
Yeah. That was all in black and white too, I think. Like The Lighthouse.
That would make sense.
Have you gotten your AAA 24 membership yet?
No.
No. It's fun. Highly recommend. It came with a little card and a key tag. So that
That
when
is
my
cute.
car breaks down, I can call the number.
Call Anya Taylor-Joy. And she comes. I'm poor. Maybe next year.
Yeah, fair.
Cool beans though. I'm excited for The Witch. I feel like you've been wanting this one for a while, so
Yes.
hope you enjoy watching it.
Thanks. I mean, it's
Whether
got
you
a
like it or
goat.
not. It's gotta go, and how bad could it be, you know?
Yeah. And bunnies. Like, there's bunnies in the movie. Right?
I don't remember.
Hmm.
It's been almost 10 years since I've seen it. I saw this when it came out.
You
Yeah.
really scared me. I thought I had actually gotten it. I was going
I'm
to
sorry.
defend it with my life. Like, I had never seen anything about this movie.
I couldn't help myself, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I got really excited.
Sorry.
It's okay. All right, well.
Well, great.
See you next week when we talk about The Witch.
Can't wait. We'll see you then.
Bye.
Bye.